Alright, so now you have everything stripped from the 9 pin. You want to have everything stripped all the way down to the fuses. We are going to be separating a few connectors from the main harness. We are going to be trying to retain 9 pin fuses, the tail light brake light plug. It's the really long one that routes along your chassis. Sorry. And then we are also retaining 2 brake sensors because this is being utilized for brake lights and headlights and horn. So I believe that's it. We're going to be separating everything else. The park, throttle, the battery stuff, tilt sensors, removing all that. And we're separating everything from the screen and little push button thing as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to start cutting the 12 volt directly from their buck converter. This is the 12 volt buck converter. Yellow and black are 12 volt plus and minus. The red and pink are battery voltage. So these two, we're going to go to the other end of it. We're going to snip black and yellow and try to get it as close to the tape as possible, because this is what we will be pinning into the connector that goes into the 3 Joules built-in buck converter. So always do one by one, even though we're not hooked up to power. You always want to snip these one by one. It's just a good habit. And you will see that the yellow and black, they have these like junctions where they're wrapped up in heat shrink. Same with the black. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be tracing the other yellows to like the tilt sensor. So this is this one is the tilt sensor. We will be snipping black and yellow, black and yellow. Realistically, you want to get these as close to the heat shrink as possible. That way, when we're done, we could tape it all up. But just for the ease of the video, we are going to just snip it as close to the tape as possible. So this one right here is kickstand sensor. Same thing. Snip yellow, black. You can either wrap these up in heat shrink or electrical tape later on. So that was a tilt sensor, kickstand sensor, I believe. That's it for the sensors. What's this one? Encoder. Okay. We have that. Let's now separate the screen, and I think this is the push button thing. Go to the end of the tape. Sorry, I don't know how useful this is for you guys. This is a whole rat's nest of cables. So here we're going to be cutting 2 blacks, pink, and a white. I think honestly all the black. Alright, let's do the white first, because the white is, all it's doing is sending a signal to the screen that I think you're hitting the brake. So we'll snip the white. Because the white goes to the headlight and the tail light. Oh, actually no, that's the white is for tail light, not brake light. And then essential to do pink. Well, what we're trying to do is free everything up. Actually, you know what? Let's veer off right here because we're just trying to separate everything from this 9-pin. So we'll follow this 9-pin. Let's go ahead and just cut everything from the 9-pin wires that go directly to this plug because we obviously don't need to send a signal back to the controller. So let's see which ones are going directly to the controller. What am I pulling on? My bad, you guys. Just bear with me. I did this once with my Altis and haven't touched it since. So this white, okay, that white goes back over there. Red, white, red with yellow is 12-volt power in, I believe. Yeah. 12-volt power in. That's going also to the headlight. Blue with red. Alright, we can snip the blue with red. So one of these that's going back is for the reverse. I have to double check mine. So okay, there is a blue with a red stripe coming from the 9-pin. Follow it back to the main harness and snip that. I'd say about an inch or two because we're going to take that up later. We might reuse that. I forgot if this is gear selector or reverse. So we're just trying to free this thing up and take some of the other harnesses, little connectors with it. But nothing going back to the controller is going to be necessary. So there's this ground, the black that's going into the main connector. We aren't going to need that, so let's cut that with enough space to be able to wrap it. So now we're getting a little bit more free. I'm just kind of like tugging to see what else is being connected that's not necessary. Alright, there's this white with a green stripe. White with the green stripe is going to park. Alright, you don't have to worry about that. Okay. Red with yellow. That's going to everything we need. What is this? Those are brake sensors. We need those. Red with yellow is going. Red with yellow goes directly to the fuses. Okay, so that's voltage out from the fuses. Okay, this from the fuses, there's this red with a black line that is going to the screen push buttons. We don't need that, so we'll go ahead and also from the fuses snip this red with black. Give it enough so that we can tape it up later. Because red with black, that's going, yeah, we don't need that. Alright, we're starting to get a little bit more free. A lot of these grounds we're not going to be using either. So this guy right here, this is from the original battery CAN bus system. We're not going to use that, so go ahead and from that heat shrink of the grounds to that canvas, there's 2 blacks. We'll snip those. And we're just going to tape all these up later. What else is this ground connected to? This is the on and off switch from the battery, original battery. We'll snip that black as well. That connected there. Yeah, we'll snip that black as well. Damn, I can't trace it. Make sure I'm getting the right one. Always verify, confirm and verify you're cutting the right ones. So we'll snip that black from the 4-pin brown, pink, pink, black. Okay, what is this other ground connected to? One more over here. That is tail light, brake light. Okay, we need that. Alright. So one of these, it really doesn't matter which one of these blacks that you're snipping is going to be used for the pin going into the 3-spool. Alright, so honestly these are all good. We got the ground separated, and then now that we have those grounds separated, let's separate the ground from this pin thingy, the screens. So from the heat shrink, let's follow it to there, and then there are 2 blacks that go into that tape. It's these 2 right here. Snip those because that's the screen and the little switches. We're not going to need that. The ground is now also going to headlights. Yes, we'll need that. And park. We are not going to need the park, so we will snip the park ground. Okay, one ground is also going to the horn. Definitely gonna need that. And then ground going to the switch panel. Yeah. There is one more ground going to headlight. So the grounds left is headlight, horn, and switch. Alright, we're getting there. We're getting somewhere. Now let's do I think the positives we were good. Which is red, yellow. It's probably gonna be, we'll find this red, yellow little bundle right here, and let's snip what is not necessary. So the red, yellow goes to brake sensors. We need that. It's 2 of those. 2 of them are going to the 9-pin switch. 1 of them is going to headlight. I think we need all of those. Okay. What are we still connected to? Oh, this blue. So from the 9-pin to, there's this blue, solid blue coming out. And the solid blue has another little bundle as well. Sorry, I'm trying to, it's all tangled up. So there's this solid blue little bundle. Keep it onto the 9-pin, but you want to disconnect it from this guy again, screen and stuff. So that's not going to be necessary. We'll snip that blue. Okay, what is this blue also connected to? Headlight, need it. And that's it. Oh, headlight, and yeah. Oh, so it was just sending a signal to the screen. That's probably like one of the lights. Try to untangle this stuff if you can. Yeah, that's sending a signal to the screen to emit like headlight or something like that. I'll have to go through the color coordinating on this again, but that'll be in the next video. Okay, so now everything seems to be loose. We have this blue, white, and blue. Alright, white with blue stripe. It's going to, there's a white and blue stripe one coming from here to the main harness. I'd say cut it close to the main connector, like a couple inches back. Forgot what that is, but we're not using it. We're just trying to separate everything, so we're getting there. Get this park out of the way. My bad, I think I'm getting a little too close for y'all. This park, try to route it out of the way. Just in our way. Okay. So again, he's giving us resistance still. It's this white with green. White with green, we just park. No, see, that's just tangled up. That's the only reason why we got resistance there. So I'm saying some of these just, when they were wrapped up in tape, they were all just tangled together and just covered up. Alright, so we got the 9-pin getting real loose, the headlight and the tail light brake lights. This white is, let's try to pull this white cable through. That's for the tail lights, brake lights, that long one that gets routed to the frame. We're almost all free. It's holding us back. This yellow, alright, from the tail light brake light, snip the yellow. That goes into the main connector. This is, I'm assuming this is sending a signal to the controller to probably emit a brake or shut off the control. Oh yeah, that's to cut off the power. I'm thinking, yeah. Anyways, we don't need it. Yellow, green stripe, snip it. No need. But we're gonna need them all connected still to the brake sensors, switches. More like switches instead of sensors. Okay. What are we holding back? So these fuses are starting to come. This is a little complicated. You just gotta untangle shit now. All these wires are intertwined and shit. Alright, what's holding us back? This is just tangled. Wires tangled. Alright, there's a ground. All the grounds. I think we're just tangled. I think we're almost all free. Because the grounds are all separate. Okay, so there's this, from this one that goes to the battery can communication. There is a black and blue, which is a ground. It's in this little bundle right here. Can connector, brown to the shrink tube, snip this. Boom. Oops. It's up. There we go. We're all separate. So if you're following along, now we have everything separate that we need. This will be plugging into the original plug for the switch panel. This will be utilized for the headlight. We're still going to use it. Horn. We're going to be grounding to the frame still. Actually, no, we don't even need this. The ground is, that was for the battery to ground the frame. No longer need that. Yeah, so we have the fuses, headlight, switches, 2 brake light switches, and then the brake tail light that routes all the way to the frame to the back, like right underneath the seat, and the horn. So this is all separate. I'm going to have to, so right now, if you really wanted to just plug this in and then go to the 3-shul aux 12 volt and use yellow for positive, obviously, and then tape up all these other loose ends, because you don't want any loose 12 volt wires arcing. Same thing with the ground. Try to like tape up or heat shrink all the short ones. You can like even connect them together and just make them all the same length, and then just throw tape or shrink tubing on it and use the longest one for aux 12 volt. Yeah. And negative pin, positive pin. I'll go over how I pinned it. And hold on, there's a call. Let me just deny that call. And that will give you at least your lights working again. For reverse, I have to go through that. I don't remember which one it is. I don't even recommend using that momentary reverse button. I recommend getting a switch, because momentary kind of sucks. You have to have 2 hands on all the time. So personally, I wouldn't. I'll try to see if I can figure out which one it is again, just with my multimeter. But yeah, if you were to just use this plug, these 2 pins, you're good to go. Plug everything back in as is.